Hello there, guides, owners, and YouTubers. I just uploaded a video a few minutes ago, and the user by the name of KCalMoo commented on it as soon as I put it on there, and I found the comment interesting and probably revealing. And the comment goes, I used to think like you do, that the Bible has been corrupted and misinterpreted on purpose to throw people off. But now that I studied the subject more in depth, no longer I believe the Bible has been corrupted. It is meant to be written the way it is. The Bible is an encoded document that is to be understood by the initiate, I'm not sure what that word is, I-N-I-T-I-A-T-E, and to mislead the profane into ignorance. The secret is Yahweh God of the Bible is Satan. You people fooled into hatefulness and cruelty towards anyone. Don't follow your Satan, he's saying. Now, I do find that interesting, as I've known a few Satanists online, and I've talked with a few of them, some of them in person, and Satanists are, hold this thought. Alrighty, so I'm back. I had to go eat me some breakfast. Now, get back on track. I thought that comment very interesting. The guy in the made the comment suggests that the Bible was written by Satan. Now, at first, to a Christian, the notion sounds ridiculous. But then I had a thought. What about, what Jesus says is the end time, when all the Christians come to him and said, Lord, Lord, look at all these fabulous things we've done in your name. We've built these churches, we did all these great works in your name, and Christ looks at them and says, you better back up for me, because I never knew you. Go for me, he tells them, for I've never knew you. Now, that says a lot. Number one, it describes the people that we're talking about. We are talking about people that confess the name of Jesus. People that have Jesus Christ on their churches. People that have Jesus Christ on their works. So we're talking about what probably today considers to be Christians. And if they did not know Christ, and if they were working for somebody other than Christ, you might as well say they were working for somebody instead of Christ, which is really and truly what the Antichrist means. Antichrist means instead of Christ. So we have Jesus telling us point blank that there's going to be a vast number of people that are going to come to him in the end of their days claiming Jesus Christ, when he tells them that you never knew me. Well, what were those people reading? What were those people using to get to Jesus Christ? Well, it was the Bible. So, does that mean Satan wrote the Bible? No. Does that mean that the Bible can be used to gain being deceived and confused? Yeah, it does mean that, because if you said, Lord, Lord, look at all we did and we did in your name, and they're letting you know that they were seeking and looking for Christ. Well, apparently they were reading most likely the King James Version, which is the most read Bible of all. So, given that, we have to look at the prospect of this large group of people being misled away from Christ, and in fact worshiping the Antichrist, which was another word for the old serpent, which is another word for the devil, and so on and so on, Satan, and so on down the line. So the Bible plays a crucial role in people, what they're gaining, what they're going to. Now, in an earlier vid, I was trying to make the point that we all find what we seek. I don't give a damn what's your method, you know, you could take your kid and you could spend oodles of money and put him in a upper class Christian school, and then he could still come out of there a headbanger, black t-shirts, dyed black hair, white face, going to Marilyn Manson concerts. I mean, he can come out that way. There's no gimme, you know, for just because somebody's raised within a church atmosphere or reading the Bible. As a matter of fact, most Satanists that I know are very well studied in the Bible. In fact, I would venture to say that most Satanists were at once devout Christians, and then entered into this upper line of enlightenment, these from the enlighteners, and turns the people away. But hey, God tells us that the deception is going to be so strong that even the very elect would be in danger. The end time wouldn't be short, from I think 7 years to 5.5 months, whatever the time period is. I don't really remember, but he tells us that you know it's almost like he specifically shortened the time, so the elect wouldn't be confused by these proofs. Now, proof is pretty much a whore. Proof will work for anybody who pays, just like a whore. And what you pay in for proof is attention. If you pay a lot of attention to your proofs, and you're giving your intention to prove one thing, it'll work for you. I've seen people prove there is a God. I've seen people prove there's not a God. I've seen people prove Republicans are better. I've seen people prove Democrats are better. I've seen people prove it's all a bunch of bullshit. There's no better at all. It's all the same. And proof can go any way that any man wants to wield it. So I don't really have a whole lot of I don't really pay a whole lot of allegiance to proof for that reason. Simply because proof can go any direction that you want it to.
That duster thing that we were playing
And I'm back now. What I was getting at was the Bible, much like proof, because when you look at the Bible with an eye looking for proof, you can pretty much prove either way. You could look at it like, well, the Bible was meant to keep people from the true God, as a tool. If you believe that Lucifer is God, which I find with most of the discussions I've been through, Luciferians and so forth, they believe that Lucifer is the God of the Bible, and then the Bible was written by a God of captivity and cruelty to keep man in this earthly prison, which I don't agree with. You know, I happen to believe that prison is a form of earth. Earth is a form of prison. We're put here in order to keep from doing harm to ourselves, or beings that are more worthy than ourselves, which we got to share existence with. I do believe that we are an unfinished product and we are trying to be salvaged. I do believe that we are dangerous to not only ourselves but to them around us, which is why we're on earth, to get an education so that we can someday become worthy to be in the same realm that God is, the same existence, the same dimension, so to speak. So, but anyway, the thought of the devil himself writing the book is one that's interesting to me, but also there's been too many people who's become good Christians reading that Bible to say that it belongs to the devil, or even for that matter to say that it wholly belongs to God. I believe the intent of God exists in that book, and I have to also believe the intent of man it exists in that book, simply because there's too much pointing towards that. But also the good news is that we are in this life going to find what we seek. And if we seek confusion, and if we seek something that goes against God, we're very much going to find that. God's going to allow you to find any and everything that you want to find. That's what free will is all about. So to say that, you know, the devil just up and wrote the book, I think would be a long stretch. But I don't think it would be too far of a stretch to say that the devil has definitely had his hand in that book as well as everything else. You know, look at your entertainment today. You're saturated with Satanism. You're on the internet, these YouTubes that you look to your right on the box. or it shows the other YouTubes, and you're going to see something to do with Satanism and something that deals with in education, that will go any way, whichever one of those little YouTubes you click on is going to be what you put in your head. That's how it works, and I'm sure that's how the Bible works too, as far as the separate verses. You can find pretty much anything you want in there to justify anything you want to do, as you can with anything. I mean, that's a proven fact. There's just as many Christians that follow the Bible in prison for murder than there are Satanists, I would imagine, for following their works. You can find any and everything you want. Now, that being said, what's the trick? What are we here to do? We're here to find good from bad. We're here to find our way out of bad into good. One point I do want to cover is the difference between a Satanist and a Christian, or somebody that's educated themselves from being a Christian. When you're old and when you're in a nursing home, there's going to be people taking care of you. Some of these people are good, decent Christian people, I'll call them. And some of these people are going to be, and by the time you hit the old folks' homes, they're going to have tattoos of Satanistic things and so forth. And they're not going to have anything of any value put in them from the Word of God, the Bible. And they're going to be taking care of you just as the old, easy to trick, foolish Christians. And you probably, most likely, what you're going to find, and when you get into that case, which may not be as long as you think, because a lot of people end up in nursing homes or in other people's care due to car wrecks or accidents and so on and so forth. What you're going to find is that people that were raised with the knowledge of Jesus Christ and that sense of Christianity, you're going to have a better chance that they're going to treat you fair. They're going to have a better chance that they're going to treat you right, because there's a thing that happens with the following of Jesus Christ, and that's conformity. You conform from a dead thing to a living thing. And your sensory perceptions of love are able to open up, and you're able to open freely, giving love and receiving love at the same time. Whereas when you follow the church of Satan, or if you follow Luciferian beliefs that Lucifer is the true God, you're going to find that "do what thou wilt" is the whole of the law in that setting. And what that basically means is you become selfish. You become conformed to selfishness. You begin to exist for solely self. You begin to look at yourself as a God. Therefore, you begin to do whatever it takes to please you as a God. Whether that be sex with a child, whether that be robbing your business partner of his money, whether it be murder, a sacrifice, which would be the murder of an innocent child. No matter what these things are, you're doing it to be self-serving, because now you no longer have a God to look up to and answer to. You only have to answer for yourself. And I think basically what you're going to find is that belief will turn you into an asshole. That belief will make everybody else around you not really matter, and you matter more than any and everybody else. And that creates a certain persona. That creates a certain atmosphere. Some of the nicest people I can ever remember meeting in my life, especially as a youth, were people that were permeated in the Christian church, the Bible, for all its mistakes, for all its elementaries, for all its things that you look down on as, and I'm not talking about the guy who wrote the comment, I'm just saying people in general, for all the things that people look down on for Christianity, it still makes you a better person than what a Luciferian can make you. Because a Luciferian makes you a selfish person looking out for self and claiming yourself to be God, so therefore everything around you has no more importance than you. Whereas what happens, what you conform to when you believe Jesus Christ and look for Jesus Christ, is you start to believe that those around you are more important than yourself. And you become part of this team to work in this field, to get them out of the death you were in, to help bring them into the light and to the life that you're in now. So you become a more giving, sharing person. Now back to that nursing home. Who do you want wiping your ass during the day? You want the Luciferian, or do you want the Christian? For everything they've learned, for everything they know, who's going to be the better person to give you care? Because you're going to a place where you're going to need care. We all are. And it's usually I play music at nursing homes 2 or 3 times a month. And I do this because I like to stay in contact with that stage of life. It's very rewarding. But one of the things I realized by playing several nursing homes is some of them, the majority of them, the nurses and whatnot, are Christian, like the directors. Some of them are Christian and some of them aren't. And I can tell you from somebody who has personal experience, you can really feel the difference in atmosphere in a nursing home of somebody who is a Christian in charge versus somebody who's not. Now that's not the difference between Christian and Luciferian, but that's the difference between a Christian, somebody who believes in the Christian God, versus somebody who doesn't, which you can actually say is basically the same thing as a Luciferian, because they're both self-serving. But there is this large difference in atmosphere in the care that those people receive, because when you're conformed to Jesus Christ, you want to make somebody's world better. Whereas if you're conformed by the Luciferian God, you do not want to make somebody's world better. You only want to make your own world better. So those are the proofs that I use, and those are one of my trump cards, is always step out of the loop and look in on the loop as an outsider. Look at the people on the internet that has been educated away from the Jesus Christ, the truth of Jesus Christ, into this truth of the zeitgeist type movements and all these enlightening things that take people's mind off of Christ. And look at what class or what type of people they are and what become. Half of them are slinging the F words around and cussing and talking about sucking each other's schwanker, constantly insulting people on YouTube that they don't agree with. Now think again, is that the type of person you would want wiping your butt in a nursing home? Is that the type of person that you want in charge of you when you need care? And you know, those things matter. It doesn't seem like it does, just looking at it from now at the stage in life you are in now, but they really do matter. Because your mom and dad might be in a nursing home now. You may have a child born of autism that needs help from a special class, a special tutorage of some kind, and it may mean a difference whether or not the person giving that child tutorage is a Christian or is a Luciferian. I mean, it makes a difference. So anyway, I wanted to share those thoughts with you. I appreciate your comments. As again, I appreciate all the comments on YouTube, good or bad, all in between, because at least they're communication, and I think that's very important. So that's it for now. Just had that notion I want to share with you. So long and peace out, people of Earth.